Hi there, good evening. Thank you for your wonderful company. Tonight, you're watching EBN Prime Edition. Let's take a look at news stories making headlines tonight.
Look at me, Kenyans. Look at me again. I must lead from the front.
I am not a madman. President William Ruto says friends helped him hire a private jet to the US, assures he's at the forefront of austerity. A striking nation. Clinical officers and junior secondary school intern teachers continue with the strike, with pressure on government to act. Long queues witnessed at the National Cereals and Produce Board's depots as farmers urge the board to purchase maize locally. Your feedback is highly welcomed across our social media platforms. On EBN TV, the SMS feedback line is 23059. Also talk to us across our social media platforms on EBN TV. EBN Prime Edition kicks off right now. Now, President William Ruto has said that the private plane he used to fly to the United States last week only cost about 10 million shillings following criticism that he was being extravagant. The head of state said, quote-unquote, friends of the country offered it at that price when he had opted to use the national airline to save money. Now, he said there was no way he could have spent about $1.5 million, which is approximately 200 million shillings, the figure that was reported to have cost to hire the Boeing 737-700 VIP plane. After returning to the country, the president defended himself against concerns over the cost of the trip, saying the luxury jet he had used was cheaper than the national airline without disclosing the amount.
When I saw the debate in Kenya as to how I traveled to the US, and there was, all manner of figures, this plane is this big and it is like this, Google here, Google there. This one must have costed 200 million because the president needed to arrive in style in the US, holding Rachel's hand. I am a very responsible steward. Believe you me. There is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. In fact, let me disclose here that it costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million. When I was told the cheapest plane was 70 million, I told my office, go book Kenya Airways. Yeah? So when some friends of mine heard that I was going to travel Kenya Airways, and we have built a big reputation as a country. We have built friends. Some friends told me, how much do you want to pay? I said, I'm not ready to pay more than 20 million. They said, bring 10 million, we will give you the plane. Look at me, Kenyans. Look at me again. I must lead from the front. As I tell others, to tighten up their belt, mine must be where to begin.
Now, following the aftermath of heavy rains that caused flooding in major parts of the country, the government has assured that they will relocate Kenyans who live in fragile ecosystems and riparian reserves. While addressing the nation at the prayer breakfast on Thursday, President William Ruto said the nation cannot afford to lose more lives to floods. The weatherman has projected a similar level of rainfall across the country within the next 7 years. Over 200 people succumbed to floods after heavy rains began in the month of April.
A few weeks ago, as you all know, we went through another storm of floods, and we lost 200 people in Kenya. We have also had to relocate already 27,000 people from riparian reserves. We have spent close to 300 million shillings to make sure that these people who have been relocated have alternative places to stay. We still have another 13,000 that we are processing so that we can relocate them. And because we have been told that there will be above normal rains in Kenya for the next 7 years, we have to be careful so that we don't again put Kenyans in danger. And that is why, as a government, we have said we will relocate Kenyans who live in fragile ecosystems along riparian reserves, because we cannot afford to lose any life anymore.
Now, President William Ruto at the same time has admitted that Kenya is yet to sort out the unemployment crisis in the country, urging members of parliament to welcome the digital hub so that Kenyans can work in the digital sector. Kenya expects investment from Microsoft of the USA, G42 of the UAE, and EcoCloud company on the first ever data center that will use renewable energy that will help Kenya build an ecosystem to support the digital economy. The head of state has urged members of parliament to set up ICT hubs in every ward to reduce the unemployment rate in Kenya.
Now have reduced the price of food commodities. We are, however, yet to solve the problem of unemployment. We must continuously work together. I want to ask members of parliament who are here. We have set our target on the digital space to create jobs. I was in Ruiru, in Simon Kingara's constituency, when we launched an ICT hub there that is hiring 5,000 Kenyans. I was very proud to see them at work. Every member of parliament seated here, and those who are not here, have an opportunity to replicate that in every constituency in Kenya. That is why we changed the law on CDF, so that you can have an opportunity to set up an ICT hub. And one of the big announcements that was made in my trip in America is an investment by Microsoft, an American company, G42, a UAE company, EcoCloud of Kenya, and the government of Kenya, on the first ever data center that will use renewable energy. And it is an investment of $1 billion.
Now, President William Ruto on Thursday led other leaders for the 21st National Prayer Breakfast at Safari Park Hotel in Nairobi. Also present were First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and the Second Lady Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. Other leaders present included Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, and his Senate counterpart Amason Kingi, among others. This year's prayer breakfast theme was organized, or the prayer breakfast was organized under the theme Hope.
And I said yesterday that there is no prosperous Kenya without a thriving Africa. And I want to repeat here today that there will be no prosperous county without a thriving Kenya. All of us, our destiny is intertwined. We must carry every village. We must carry every constituency. We must carry every county to make Kenya truly great. And that is why I speak to you leaders as the father figure of the nation, that we work together. We build bridges. We build synergy. We have a common destiny. There will be no success of one county as against another. We must pull together and succeed together as a nation. I want to repeat the words in Kiswahili of Matthew 5:9. Neno la Mungu linasema heri wapatanishi, those who unite people, those who bring people together, those who make peace. Those qualify to be the children of God. We must do that together, all of us.
Now, during his speech, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who during the meeting had projected a troubled and uncomfortable body language, caused the room to break into laughter after he told the president that holding Rachel Ruto's hand in the United States had caused trouble back home in Kenya. Gachagua says most Kenyan women demanded that their husbands hold their hands and emulate the president. The head of state responded by telling the DP that the move caused him to be summoned by a certain group of the men's conference.
Something that you're doing there that created problems to many husbands across the country. When you are walking there holding the hand of the first lady, it put us back here under a lot of immense pressure. Your Excellency, our spouses, led by mine, Pastor Dorcas, were demanding that we emulate the president and hold their hand wherever we go. But I knew, because I know you, you will solve that problem for us when you come back. I was certain, I was sure. As we welcomed you from your car to the hold room to here, you are walking fast with me, chatting, as Mama Rachel was trying to catch up with you as we came to this room. So the matter is sorted. That was an American thing.
It is true that I have been summoned by the men conference. And I will go and answer.
Well, it did a lot of pressure on households, and that was a good one for that matter. Now, Azimio claims there are forces within and outside Parliament that are hell-bent on derailing the National Dialogue Committee report. The National Assembly adopted the report on February 24th, 2024, and Azimio on Thursday said 9 bills have already been introduced in the House to facilitate its implementation. The NADCO report, which was a product of bipartisan consensus and wide public participation, made a myriad of proposals touching on legal and policy reforms and issues of concerns to the people of Kenya.
Kenyans are feeling despondent. Who will do what for us? You and I feel, must have the bravery and voice to tell this administration that we have the capacity, the dignity, and the right to make decisions and shape our destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-governance moment. This is our AMCA stay woke moment. Thank you.
Swearing that since November last year, This is now of May. 6 months or so later, since the report was unveiled at the Hilton Garden Hotel in November last year. We are now in June, actually. No single bill has gone through out of the 9 bills. The only bill that is nearing completion is the IBC amendment bill. The others are lying somewhere. It has always to take our pushing for those bills to be moved. So we want to commit that on our part we shall continue to push that these bills be fast-tracked and they be enacted into law.
Now 12 Gikomba traders have moved to court seeking justice for the ongoing demolitions. The applicants filed an application dated April 24th, 2024, saying that they are being exposed. They say that 2 people from the group have died due to depression following the ongoing Gikomba demolitions. Speaking at Milimani Law Court shortly after they filed a case at the High Court seeking to stop the demolition that is being conducted by the Nairobi County government led by city lawyer Danstan Omari, the 222 people say they have rights or their rights have been violated given that they have been in the land since 1992. According to the traders, they have been filing and paying land rates, and they are now shocked as to why their business is being demolished. Omari also added that the business is serving more than 5 million people, both locally and internationally, and thus wants the government to stop the ongoing demolitions.
Mwaka huu county ilikuwa imetutoza leseni na tuko nazo na tumewapatia. Tunauliza ya kwamba kwa nini walikuwa wakatuitisha leseni wakijua kwamba watatubomolea vibanda zetu. Alafu ya mwisho ni kwamba tuna uchungu mwingi kwa sababu tumepoteza wazazi wetu wawili baada ya haya mabomozi ambayo kaunti yanaendeleza katika soko letu la Gikomba.
Tuko na shida kubwa sana. Tumebomolewa bila notice. Unastukia tingatinga ndio yeye imeingia, inavunja mavibanda, mali zetu zinakanyagwa, tuko na mkopo. Mpaka saa hizi nyumba nimefungiwa, watoto wangu hawaendi shule. Nashindwa mimi ni mwana Kenya. Nitaenda wapi? Usaidizi nitatoa wapi? Hata serikali ilituambia vizuri, hatutakuja kusumbuliwa wana Gikomba, na rais wetu mpendwa Ruto alikuwa anapita hapo kwetu Solidarity akasema hakuna mtu atawaguza watu wangu, hakuna mtu atawaguza. Na saa hizo ndio tumeguzwa, tumemalizwa, hatuna mwelekeo.
Niko karibu kwenda retire. Mnanifukuza saa hizi, wajukuu wako university, wengine wamemaliza skuli form 4, wengine wamemaliza skuli wanataka kuenda kutafuta course. Saa hii ndio mnanifukuza, na mimi hao wajukuu sina kwa kuwapeleka. Mama zao walikufa. Mimi mwenyewe mamangu tulivunjiwa na Kaitan mwaka sijui wa 90. Tukavunjiwa na Kaitan, mamangu akafariki. Ni machozi tu tunatafutaga hapo. Hakuna kitu kingine.
Station itakuja niondoe mimi, yaja kumfaidi nani? Hayo ndio matatizo yetu makubwa. Na Solidarity Open Market tumekuwa tukilipa license consistency. Tangu 1997 watu wamekuwa wakilipa leseni. Hakuna siku hatujawahi lipa leseni. Na kama tuipa serikali mapato, kwa nini sisi tufurushwe, tujikute barabarani? Na ilhali cost of living for now as we speak iko very desperate. Watu wanaumia. Na pale mtu anapata kitu yake kidogo, inakuwa tena pia unafuatwa.
Political regime that has come has acknowledged that they have a right to be there. Save that this time there are individuals in government who want that land, to take possession of that land, to do the same business that these people are doing.
President William Ruto arrived at the National Defense College in Karen for the 26th graduation ceremony of military officers. The college offers the National Security and Strategy course. It was accredited to the University of Nairobi in 2002 to offer a diploma and Master of Arts degree in international studies as part of the college curriculum to improve the quality of knowledge acquired by participants.
I congratulate each graduate on completing your duties at the National Defense College. I commend your families for their loyal support during your year-long preparation for vital national responsibilities and encourage them to continue supporting our officers to serve with confidence, resilience, and professionalism. I am gratified to see the increasing number of female officers among participants each year. This commitment to gender inclusivity reflects the Ministry of Defense dedication to fostering diverse and capable leadership. And I am very proud that the Commandant of our Air Force is a woman. I urge the Kenya Defence Forces and the National Defence College to continue this trend to cultivate a deeper pool of understanding, especially among female military and security sector leaders.
Clinical officers within the Western region have vowed to continue their strike until the government addresses their demands. The officers under the Union of Clinical Officers, led by their chairperson Peterson Wachira, say that so far they have agreed on 7 issues out of 10 with the Ministry of Health. Speaking in Bungoma County during the protest, the officers say that on Friday they will march to the county assembly until they are heard, while criticizing the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Nakhumicha, and the chairperson of the Council of Governors within the Health Committee, Muthomi Njuki.
Mine is to implore our CS Health Nakhumicha. Our demands are 3. The first one is we want PNP. The second one is we want our gratuity to be paid. The third one is we want ownership. We as universal healthcare workers were employed on a 3-year contract in 2020. And the purpose was to meet the goal of the Ministry of Health on universal healthcare achievement. There cannot be, and we cannot achieve universal health without human resource.
I'm here to talk about punitive contractual hospital boards employment. We are not comfortable that we can sit and acknowledge that hospital boards in this county are masquerading as employing entities. We are all aware that the duties to hire civil servants within the county government are bestowed within the county public service board. But we are aware in this county that there are several hospital boards that are masquerading as employment entities. They are employing skilled workers and paying them peanuts. As we speak now, healthcare workers who are employed on these hospital board contracts have not been paid since November last year. We are talking about 7 months without pay. Why are they not being paid? That's the big question we are asking.
Is our CS Nakhumicha. CS Nakhumicha has not sat with us for the past 60 days that we have been on strike. What we need to end this strike, we need 3.51 billion for conversion of the UHC staff into PNP. Yes. We also need around 900 million for the enhancement of the health risk allowance. So we basically need 4 billion to end the clinic officer strike. Why would it be that we can absorb the teachers, but when it comes to medics is where we draw the line? So my message to all the UHC comrades, to the CHAP comrades, to the National TB program, on Tuesday we are having a grand march in Nairobi. We want all the UHC staff to be in Nairobi, to work with us to Parliament, and we are going to have our vigil at Parliament until they allocate money for the absorption of the UHC comrades.
Junior secondary school intern teachers from Kwale County have strongly opposed the action by the Teacher Service Commission to employ only 26,000 teachers on permanent basis. Speaking in Kunda after a session to pressure the government to fulfill their demands, the teachers have asked the Teacher Service Commission to employ all teachers around the country. Led by the Kwale Branch Secretary General Julius Mvuria, the teachers have increasingly criticized the government for ignoring the court's order. They have also defended that the government should compensate them for the low wages since they were put on contract last year.
Ishiana na formula imepatikana ya kwamba hawa watu tunaenda kuwaingiza katika kazi namna gani, na sisi sote walimu 46,000 na sio 26,000. Kwa hivyo tunasema sisi wote confirm and compensate.
Ikifika time ya confirmation tukiona kama ni 26,000, kwanza ni criteria gani watatumia kwa ajili ya 26,000? Na watu ambao wataachwa, kwani kama ni illegal kwa 26,000 teachers, 20,000 teachers itaanzaje kwa legal?
Mtatoa vipi ajira, nafasi za ajira kwa watu wengine kama kuna watu hapa already hamjawa confirm?
The Kenya National Union of Teachers (KNUT) has defended the interests of teachers, calling on TSC to ensure that 20,000 teachers are given employment on permanent and pensionable terms by July this year. Speaking during the inauguration of the tree planting program under the office of the First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto, the KNUT Secretary General Collins Oyuu has urged the government to meet the demands of teachers in addition to the 26,000 that have been contracted. At the same time, Oyuu has called on teachers participating in the strike to return to work, noting that their interests are being addressed. Oyuu also has said within the next 2 weeks, the Commission will start evaluation of lessons in all schools in the country to determine how the education sector in the country is progressing.
I want to thank the Budget and Appropriation Committee in Parliament for reinstating the feeding program. The other issue, and in fact now the elephant in the house, intern teachers in junior schools. You've seen them running around left, right, center, not attending classes. But they're right. They're 100% right. Those demonstrations are not strikes. Those teachers are not on strike, they're demonstrating. And Teachers Service Commission went ahead to issue show cause letters to the same teacher. We wrote to TSC, for which we shall have a sitting with Teachers Service Commission, and we shall ensure that all the letters of show cause to these teachers are withdrawn. Teachers have missed a lot, but we've come up strongly to say that teachers will be in school, but the condition has now been lowered by Teachers Service Commission through the advice of the Budget Committee, and our teachers shall be paid on permanent and pensionable terms because the employment is coming by January 1st, 2024. I want to call upon all teachers, even those who are in the streets, let us go back to class. Let us go back to class because the war has actually ended, and we shall be employed on permanent and pensionable terms. We shall roll out a quick policy paper that shall explain to the whole country the losses that the teaching force has encountered with the staffing of the current junior school teachers. I want to say 80% of what is happening in the junior school, grade 7 and 8, is being done by the primary school teachers they found. That's what is happening.
There was a long queue at Mallory in Eldoret that has seen farmers trying to sell their maize to the National Cereals and Produce Board, where the farmers say that the maize is not being purchased by the board. The farmers say that the management of the board now wants the government to buy the corn quickly, saying that due to the heavy rain that continues to fall, they continue to suffer losses, and also the costs of the trucks to carry the corn, which they say are too expensive. They want the government to intervene and ensure that their maize is bought at the right time.
Wakulima wamekaa hapa wanalala njaa, kwa barabara wananyeshewa hapa, usiku na mchana wanakesha hapa. Pesa ile wametumia imeisha kwa mifuko. Sasa hii maroli zimepanga kutoka hapa mpaka kwa TC, hakuna lori inasonga. Cereal hawezi ingiza mahindi. Sasa hii wanashughulikia wale watu wa mbolea, lakini wakulima wa mahindi hawezi kuingia. So tunaomba government ishughulikie haraka, wakulima warudi nyumbani, pia wako na mafamilia. Wasiishi kwa barabara hivi. Hasara ile wakulima wako wanapitia, kwa sababu changamoto ile wakulima wanapitia, hii mahindi wamejaribu kupanda.
Lori mtu amekomboa lori.
Mtu amekomboa hii lori kutoka wakati wamempea kiwango ya hiyo lori, kama amekombolewa labda wiki moja. Sasa hii lori imekaa kwa karibu mwezi kwa barabara. Sasa mkulima anaenda hasara kulipia hiyo gharama ya lori.
Wakulima wa Moiben tumeteseka ya kutosha, tunapambana kulima, tunanunua dawa na hatupewi mbolea kwa wakati, na ndio hii tuko kwa laini karibu wiki moja. Serikali muko wapi? Kama hii pesa yenye mnapata hata ya tax msukume iende serious. Ndio tunahangaika hapa. Alafu mnasema mnakaa tu Nairobi. Mteremuka kesho hapa, msipoteremuka mtakuta hii masto imepamoka. Mharakishe mapema sana.
Ni nini tena mpango gani wako nayo ingine ya kuchelewesha watu kwa laini? Hii maneno yote mimi naona lawama kubwa ni kwa wajumbe, kwa sababu hawaweki pesa ya kutosha kwa bajeti zetu, alafu kuhakikisha ukulima unanawiri kwa njia ambayo unafaa. Sasa hii tukiongea budget ambayo inakuja, wamekata subsidy ya fertilizer by 6 billion. Wameondoa ingine ya kupea AFC mpaka wanasema ni 1.9 wataongeza. Sasa ukiona hii vitu yote ni kuhangaisha mkulima, na wanajua wakulima ndio watu wa bidii, wanafanya kazi nzuri.
Wametuambia tutulie. Tumetulia kuanzia jana mpaka leo na hakuna ripoti tumepata. Laini imekwama kuanzia Tuesday.
Well, apologies about that. That was not on the perennial flooding in Kirinyaga, but it was on matters to do with maize, where farmers in Eldoret were hoping that the National Cereals and Produce Board buy maize from them. So apologies for that mix-up. But to sports, as the secondary school games for the second term begin at the sub-county level in Bungoma County, previous champion St. Mary's Kibabii are set to play at the national level after beating Bungoma High School 3-4 at the penalty shootout, after drawing 3-all in normal time. The principal, Nicodemus Ogeto, has accused some schools of using non-students in the competition, adding that using non-student players denies legitimate students the opportunity to showcase their talent.
Right now is that the boys have done the best practice, if you ask me. Apart from that, our success is anchored on discipline. The discipline is very high, and with the discipline, you expect results all around, and that's what you're able to see. And going forward, we are sure we are going East Africa, and I'm very confident, my boys. There's something that really disturbs is what you're talking about. Getting non-students to play. They make other students lose a chance. They are boys and girls who have talent. But when we bring on board non-students, we spoil for them. I want to advocate that if all principals, if all schools would ensure that we are playing students against students and not students against villagers. That's my take. And once you get out successfully from Western region, moving forward to nationals, moving forward to East Africa, you are sure will be number one.
Anda kushukuru Mungu. Tumeshinda game. Gaje tumekuwa na mambo mingi, but kwa sababu sisi tukiongozwa na senior principal Mr. Ogeto kwa tumeshajipanga, ndio maana tumepata hiyo win. Gaje tumekuwa na indiscipline cases sasa na opponent ambao tumecheza nao ambao ndio host. Vile game ilianza walionyesha hiyo indiscipline mpaka vile game imeisha. Hiyo si picha mzuri kwa football. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio kitu ambacho haijafurahisha hata kidogo. Hiyo si kusaidia, si kukuza talanta za vijana. Tukifanya hivyo hatuwezi fika mahali. But sisi kama Kibabii tumejipanga, tuko sawa, na hata target yetu haikuwa ati tukutane na Bungoma. Sisi tuko na vision. Sisi tunaangalia mambo ya East Africa. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa tu ni kutuharibia tu, lakini Mungu ako na sisi, kwa sababu sisi tulianza kujiandaa na tunajiandaa kwenda East Africa. Hatujiandae kukutana na timu kama zenye ziko indiscipline kama Bungoma High School.
Well, that is where we wrap it up tonight. Thank you for your wonderful company. I hope that you're up to date with what is making headlines across the country. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have yourself a fantastic night ahead.